Let's get right down onto today's issues in the news, and there's a bit of an irony in urban housing in China. Now, on one hand, reports say both purchase prices and rent have been steadily rising, and that it was extremely difficult to rent apartments or houses. But on the other hand, we hear of so-called ghost or empty towns, which is what we're here to talk about. Now, how do we reconcile these two realities in China? Well, let's get started with this report from rednet.cn. Economists say that China's housing prices won't drop rapidly and that people who don't have houses won't be content. And while they made a seemingly convincing analysis, we have our doubts. Why? Well, first, more and more ghost towns and empty towns have appeared, and most of the houses are vacant. Second, a survey conducted by the Housing and Building Department shows that the house vacancy rate has reached 23%. Third, a homeowner in Beijing owns hundreds of houses. And fourth, a developer from Guangdong province bought all the houses he developed and built. Well, this proves that we don't lack houses. It's just that the prices are way above most people's heads. Clearly, so-called house scalpers are making a killing because of the virtual monopoly of government land ownership. A healthy market should have no monopoly, but in China, the increasing number of ghost towns means we have too many house scalpers monopolizing the market. It's a distorted market. We have to remind economists and developers to deal with all the ghost towns and empty towns first before discussing market rules. Interesting. Now, speaking of ghost towns, here's a list of some of the more prominent in China. Well, you would think that with 1.3 billion people, no place should be considered a ghost town, right? Now, here comes the irony, as reported by the Oriental Morning Post. Data shows that in 2012, half of Chinese were living in the cities, the most in Chinese history. Experts predict that by 2030, China's urban population will reach 1 billion. Well, that means 1/8 of the world's total urban population will live in Chinese cities. Well, that's why people need more houses in cities. Megacities and so-called internationalized cities occupy large spaces, but also cause a lot of waste. Ideally, urbanization starts with the boom of secondary industries, which attracts more people to the cities. At the same time, the construction of cities can provide a comfortable living and education environment. However, secondary industries are moving outside of cities because of pollution. Now, to promote the healthy development of urbanization, the Chinese should change their mindset and find a sustainable way of developing Chinese cities.